Hello everyone, and welcome to another exciting episode of FiST Chat, the vodcast that features discussions on the topics of film, science and technology. My name is Ben Warner and I'm joined by my good friend and colleague, and we both have plastic brains, I believe. Steve Kern. How you doing there, Steve?
Apparently I'm a little bit dumber than I was before because I've been using the internet today, Ben.
Oh, yes, I know. So I've been using it, but I just want to put out a disclaimer. If you search for us on the internet and you're watching this vodcast right now off some sort of screen that is connected to the internet, I can guarantee you that your brain will not turn into mush. In fact, listening to us will soothe you and it will improve your intellect and IQ or something like that.
Well, I like to think that it'll help you learn to think better.
That's right, because that's what
FiST Chat listener is a clever listener.
Absolutely. So we'll launch into the topic then, and it is surfing the web or using the internet turning our brains into mush? It's an interesting topic, and there's been a little bit of research on it. Just going to read from an article from Wired.com here, where there was an experiment done where the participants were asked. It was to test whether people remembered where to locate the information or whether they remembered the actual information. So what was done was in one participant they gave them a bit of trivia into a computer. They told half the subjects that the information would be saved onto the computer, and they told the other half that it would be erased. And what they ended up finding was that the people that where the information was saved didn't bother remembering the original information, and the ones that thought it would be erased remembered the information.
Ben, I've been doing this for years. Somebody gives you a phone number, you try to commit it to memory, you can't remember it. Write it down on a piece of paper. You never need to look at that piece of paper again.
That's right.
Studies like this are really, really interesting because there has been a lot of research done into human, neural physiology and the way in which we think and the ways in which we remember. And the truth is we don't really know that much. We know a lot about, the ways in which we might order memories and the way in which we use various cues to remember things. And the truth is that, we try in our busy world not to remember things that we don't have to. So why would you? Is that really a measure of us getting less intelligent?
That we don't use our memories as much as what we should, or...
Well, I mean, and think about it this way, with sat-nav being everywhere on phones and in cars, I mean, over time, people will never remember how to get from one side of the city to the other. They'll probably even struggle to get around the block. I mean, is that what you see happening?
It's almost like... like a collective digital memory for us as a race kind of thing, getting uploaded somewhere. And I guess this is kind of like, where this Wired, article's coming from, is Google ruining your memory? All the information you ever need to find, you just Google it. It's its own verb, you don't have to worry about, maybe there were people that, tradesmen or whatever, if you wanted to fix up something at your house, you just have to type in, fix my kitchen sink or something. You'll be able to find a video on YouTube and it'll have some guy there taking you through it. So you don't...
Absolutely.
So in one sense, if you don't have a skill or you don't have an idea or you didn't have that knowledge to begin with, that's very useful. But then the argument is if you did have that knowledge... maybe you might forget it because you can't really lose it. It's there, but you just...
Well, that's open to conjecture, but you've hit the nail right on the head here. And it's use it or lose it is the key to basically the way our memories and cognitive skills and abilities work. They are not necessarily as we normally think of hardwired, but pathways are created in the brain. So if you do have a specific skill or specific knowledge, by continually using that knowledge, you reinforce it, which is what practicing is about.
Yeah.
And that's how you maintain and upgrade your own knowledge base. if you cease to rely on that mental pathway, it will actually diminish. So that's where the argument is. Of course, if you, exactly as you say, if you can access the internet and find good information, well, then the internet's going to make you smarter and more experienced. However, if you use a calculator to start adding up single digits, probably before long you'll need a calculator to add up single digits.
Well, that's the thing. The bonus of all this is that you would have access to information that maybe you necessarily wouldn't have been searching for. But then you get into sort of other types of ideas where, like we're processing information more than ever before. With a click of a button, you can access the news, weather, whatever. You can have, it's available 24/7 and you can't escape it. You can walk down the street, it'll be on a screen somewhere. It's just something you can't escape. And that's probably where this idea of distractibility comes in. The idea maybe that by having so much access to so much information, it will lead you to become distracted, and then that becomes a habit. And then your brain starts to work in a way where it's looking for new information more often, and it becomes distracted from something that maybe it should be focused on.
Look, absolutely. And we've seen this change in education. Probably a lot of our younger FiST Chat listeners wouldn't know this, but, once upon a time at school, you used to write, out essays or reports by hand. And, of course, the thing was because, you couldn't make mistakes, you'd have to write a number of drafts, and that would take time. And you'd prepare your report or your term paper, over a period of time of revision. Thanks to computers, that doesn't happen anymore. We just get there, we slap it all together in the last minute, and we use Bill Gates's word checker, which is responsible for some of the, in the early days anyway. Bill was actually pretty good now. But the word spell checker and grammar checkers now are pretty good, and they're taking away those skills. We don't need those skills. So I'd almost argue, I guess you do need to know how to be able to use punctuation correctly, but if it's automated, does it really matter?
No. I guess it allows you maybe to do other things more efficiently, more often. You can maybe get more stuff done, maybe, if that's the
look, I mean, if those guys at, I can't remember, or I won't say what aerospace organisation they were, had an automatic conversion from pounds to Newton meters, then we wouldn't have lost a whole mission to Mars.
Amazing, huh?
Well, who was stupid there? It certainly wasn't the technology.
Absolutely. But there is an argument, though, you do need to take a break from these things. If you can't, I mean, this is probably another topic, spending too much time in front of a screen or something like that. We can talk about that some other time. But just in terms of how if you're just sitting there, looking at the screen kind of thing, and continually, looking at things like that, you might miss some other things out there as well. It is good for you to get out and experience nature perhaps, or do something like that. Just maybe if you can kind of imagine it as the brain is like a muscle, and you kind of got to pull it and stretch it in different ways. And
well, that is the argument. That is absolutely the argument. We exist in a 3D world. When we're actually just sitting in a chair as we are now, Ben, despite the fact we're using a whole lot of higher mental process to communicate, 95% of our nervous energy is actually going into keeping us sitting upright in the chairs.
Yeah.
So if you don't get up, if you don't walk around, if you don't look at things in the distance and things close up, if you don't feel hot, if you don't feel cold, you're actually starting to lose those attributes. You won't be able to tell how far 15 metres is, or how fast somebody's running.
Yeah.
or what even they look like.
It's adaptability to your environment, and that can be quite underestimated. And I guess because the technology today is so pervasive, I mean, you can't even just compared to 10 years ago. It just doesn't compare, and it's just so pervasive that it's so easy to just hop onto the net, go searching for your stuff. Or whatever it is that you want, and the thing is, it kind of leads you to get distracted easily. You've got type in something into Google that you're looking for, and then you go, oh, maybe I might check this, maybe I'll check that, and then maybe an hour later you're still there, and maybe you could have used that hour a bit better.
Yeah, but maybe people like that were stupid to begin with, or bored. Sorry, anyone out there in FiST chat land we've upset. I don't know. Ben, I've got a question for you. They say by 2017, 2018, this is what the futurists predict, okay, that a standard chip will have the processing power of the human brain.
Okay.
They're saying by 2035, they should be able to start to mimic the human brain process in computing. At that point, we can probably be able to interface. Now, just taking this a step further, if we've got a hard drive, a wireless hard drive connected to our heads, and you start downloading all the things that you saw today on there, maybe even the directions home from the pub, what's going to happen if that hard drive goes down?
Maybe that's my answer to that would be maybe that's why we shouldn't go down that road, even though we could go down that road, because there's just something about the way that we're built. Barring, I mean, obviously anything can happen, like injury-wise, to your brain, but it can, given, if you, manage to like not knock your head or do something stupid, it's quite resilient in that way.
Well, what if then maybe this is an argument for cloud computing? If you'd uploaded all your thoughts up into the cloud and you had a head injury, you just download them back in.
And then what? We also start sharing experiences as well.
File sharing's fine, isn't it?
Oh dear, oh dear! It'll just become like one big collective consciousness. Then, can you imagine that?
Well, it could do. It
could do. Not sure if that's a good idea. I mean, but what are you going to do? I mean, we have to watch that kind of technology. I think you got to be careful. It's almost like you got to use the technology in a way that is beneficial to you, but there's also ways that it could be bad for you as well if you use it in the wrong way.
Absolutely. Now, there's one thing I want to get onto quickly. I saw only the first 15 minutes of the film Idiocracy the other week.
Yes.
So if anyone out there in FiST chat land has seen the whole thing, let us know if it's any good. The first 15 minutes were hilarious. And it was about a time, 500 years from now or maybe long, everyone's turned into an idiot, not just because of the internet, but just because that's the way society's going. I'm thinking there that, really, if these computers in 2035 can do everything a human can do, then it's fine for humans to become idiots anyway, because the computers will look after us.
And on that point, that's probably a good place to finish up, because quite frankly, that's a scary thought. And I think
isn't that what Skynet was there for?
Absolutely, they might as well take over. We deserve to be obliterated if that's the case. But at least I think I definitely hope that film is good, because it's from the director of Office Space, and that one was that's quite an amusing little tale as well. So hopefully, like Steve said, if anyone out there knows about it, let us know if it's any good, and we'll follow it up. So that's all we got time for this week. So thanks again, Steve, for the chat. And
Pleasure.
Again, we both want to reiterate, your brain's not turning to mush right now by watching us. And if you're listening to us, well, you don't have that problem. So, or maybe that's another topic right there. Is your brain getting too distracted with your headphones in 24/7?
Who knows? But if you put up some of those links, Ben, which I think are pretty good, people can find out more about this interesting topic for themselves.
Absolutely. So don't forget, our Our website is available at www.fistchat.com. You can get all our Facebook, Twitter, social media links, YouTube videos, etc., RSS feeds. So that's it for this week. So have a good week, and we'll catch you next week.